Okay, so having to do with one of the questions yesterday, it was something talking about some strange kind of shape that kind of maybe looked like that. Oh, a trapezoid, but a special trapezoid. So, that is a trapezoid. There's some terminology. Now, did I teach you what a trapezoid is? No. What grade did you might have possibly got taught this? 2?
5. With the tiles.
Really? And she remembered. Good for you. Like, kids are just trying to like pull their dipes up in grade 2, and you remember what a trapezoid was? That's awesome. Oh, hang on. You were a smart kid? You still are a smart kid? Okay, that's a trapezoid. It is a polygon. We'll see this word again. What's a polygon? Any closed shape. Not a polygon yet. Not yet. Okay, now it's a polygon. That's a polygon. How many sides does that polygon have? That's going to give it its name. Maybe it's a dodecagon. Yes, that's a real word. Some of the polygons we're familiar with are, what's that? Yeah, careful. You're not sure it's a square yet until I do that. Now it's a square. I don't care if it looks like this. If you see that, that means all lengths are the same sides. That is a square. It's a bad one, but it's a square. A square is just a special rectangle. That is a 4-sided polygon. What do we call a 5-sided polygon? What did they flow a plane into in 9/11? The pentagon. Penta means 5 in, is it Greek or Latin? I don't know. Okay? Heptagon. What's a stop sign called? Octopusgon. 8 sides. Okay? Octagon. This is a polygon, but it's a special polygon because 2 of the sides are parallel. We call that a trapezoid. Now, if I can spell this correctly, I win the prize. If it's an isosceles trapezoid, what else do I know? Well, some knowledge you should have is, Mila, somehow I just don't think you're talking about math. There's a nice seat right here. No, don't make me. Don't. You can't make me. Yes, I will. Be quiet. That's an isosceles triangle. It's a triangle with 2 of the same sides. But what's more helpful, Sarah, is that this angle must be the same as that angle if that's got 2 of those sides that are the same. Okay? That's the only thing that can happen. Make sense? If it doesn't, memorize it. If this is an isosceles trapezoid, then that means this angle must be the same as that angle. Kind of like the same thing, right? Okay, that's something you maybe didn't know, but maybe you assumed it. Now you do know it, hopefully. And I also know that is the same as this. So if I told you that that was 130 degrees, how would you know what angle A is? This is what we did teach you yesterday. They are supplemental, yes, which means A must be 50 degrees. Okay, now what's the rule? Because again, I told some of you guys yesterday, because the first question said, what is it, and explain. And a lot of you did, what is it? Yeah, whatever angle that was. Angle that was 90 degrees. Great. But on the test, I may say to you, this angle is 90 degrees. You tell me why. And then you're going to go, I don't know. So I guess you get that question wrong, huh? Cassidy?
Would you give us an answer if you just put because it's supplemental?
Well, this may be multiple choice question. It's all or none.
But if we had to write it out, what would you want us to?
I will cross that bridge when we come to it. I love hypothetical questions.
Well, we already have questions where it says explain.
Well, again, you got the answers in the back of the book. Your expectation is, if you don't know, it's okay. You're grade 11 now, right? You know, if you just copy the crap out of the back of the book, which some grade 11s still try to do, obviously you're not going to pass the test, right? It's okay to go, I haven't got a clue what they're talking about. Oh, okay. Have a little peek. That's what they want me to understand. Okay, that's fine. Okay? So the answer tells you what we expect you to know. Okay? So, what's the rule? Now, some of these pictures, other people I'm explaining, okay, it's okay to, like, sometimes visualization, this is impossible to teach. I can teach you how to drive, but then you put your car in the ditch because your spatial skills aren't great. How can you learn spatial skills? How do we teach vision? You ever tried to explain to a blind man how you see? It's something that's pretty hard to do. Sometimes if all you do is take your book and you turn it sideways and you look at that picture at 90 degrees, bingo, now I see it. Something else that might be helpful. Does this line end here, or am I allowed to do that? Not in the book, but you should be writing out the question on your paper. Take 6 seconds, write this out, and now you can do that. Does that look familiar? There's parallel lines and a transversal. This, you know it's supplemental, maybe you guessed it, but what's the actual rule? Okay, these are on the same side of the transversal. They're interior angles. They're on the inside of these train tracks. Okay, that's why they're supplemental. They're on the same side of the transversal, interior angles. They add up to 180. Okay, a little bit more review since we're talking about it. What's the angle of that? Do we all know that, or just a couple of you? 50 degrees, right? Great, that might be a mark, but what also might be a mark, what's the reason why? We know that's 50 degrees. What's the rule? These are both interior and they're on opposite sides of this transversal. We call that alternate interior angles. Because these are parallel, I know those are equal. Okay? This angle is 130. What's this angle? Cheyenne? What's this angle here? If I know that's 130. Good. That might be a mark, but what also might be a mark is, I'm telling you that's 130, you tell me why. And you say, corresponding angles. Thank you. 2 of you. Okay? So, something else. To do number 20 yesterday, are those parallel? What do you think, Liam? That's right, you don't know. Now you do. Now let's go crazy. I'm going to put my transversal that way. You can't do that. Okay, these are parallel lines. You know that because I'm telling yous. And that's a transversal. And what do we know about this angle and this angle?
They're corresponding.
They are corresponding, but we also know something else. They're the same. What's another word for same in math? Equal. Because these are parallel. So, that's equal to this angle. Well, this angle is 3x plus 20 degrees. And this angle is 2x minus 12 degrees. Yes, it is, boys and girls. Guess what the question is? You see, you still are a smart kid. Okay? So that's just grade 8 algebra. Maybe grade 8 bonus question. Okay, it's definitely grade 9 algebra. Did y'all pass grade 9 math? Some of you didn't? Well, we better send you back there.
I don't even know. Is that where you have to add to each side?
Can you just let me do my thing? Okay. So that's grade 9 algebra taken to the grade 11 level. You need to know something before you can solve for x, but I already said what it was. You know this is equal to that. So that is the same, there's another word, as that, okay? That's the grade 11 stuff. Now you're back to grade 9. Do you know how to do that? I hope so. Otherwise you ain't getting a mark. I got x's here, I got x's here. I want to collect like terms. Okay? I'm kind of good at this. I don't like negative x's, so I'm not going to minus 3x here and put it over there. That's going to give me a minus 1x. I'd rather get rid of this one and put it over here. How do I get rid of positive 2x? Minus it. Whatever you do to one side, do to the other side. That's gone. What's 3 apples take away 2 apples? 1 apple. We don't write the 1, right? Still got plus 20. Still got minus 12. I collected all my apples, my x's. Is there something else I can collect here? That doesn't tell me what x is, right? I want to know what x is. Solve for x. How do I get rid of that 20? Minus 20. Whatever you do to one side, do to the other side. What's x? Okay. That's what it is. Done. Not so bad. Okay, just take in what we did. Take it a little more confusing. Take it to the next level. Give you some algebra on top of it. Now, if I substituted that in here, it actually wouldn't make much sense. But that's not the point. Because that's like a negative angle, right? It actually could make some sense. Just depends what your reference is. If I go from here to here, and I say that's 45, 50, 60 degrees, well, if I go the other way, then maybe it's negative, okay? We do that in other courses, but not this one. Anyway, I answered the question. I got the mark. Okay? Yes, thank you. All right, so that's what you need to know if you didn't already do yesterday's question. Someone else asked me, like I said, 15. I'm not going to redo every question. The expectation is you got to know how to do it, or you're not going to get the marks on the test. Okay, so if you still don't know how to do it, you're expected to come in and ask. A couple of them are pretty tricky, all right? But you need to do all of them. Again, well, do you need to? Depends what kind of a mark you want. If your goal is to get 51% in this class, then you probably need to do 51% of the assignment. I hope everyone has a little loftier goal than that. Okay? But it's common sense. All right, so I'm going to give you, from yesterday, add number 20. If you didn't finish yesterday's, do it. Now's your chance. It's kind of like a little kind of catch-up day. And then I'm just going to add a couple of questions from the mid-review. Again, a really helpful page. Look at page 84. Frequently asked questions. This book is kind of nice. They give you all sorts of helpful little hints. Maybe one of the questions you need to have answered in order to solve some of the stuff you couldn't get is right there on that page. So read that, okay? That's good stuff. And then do this. Quiz on this is Tuesday.